Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Now for this week's video, I posted on the community tab on my YouTube channel and I asked you all what you wanted to see for this week's video. As the time that I am filming this, the video that is like slightly in the lead is the one for my biggest Taylor Swift ISOs. And I am going to do that, but I'm going to push that one until next week. I know it's slightly in the lead for this week, so please don't yell at me, but I just did a Taylor Swift video last week and I thought it'd be best to kind of break them up. So I'm going to do the one that's currently in second place, which is the most valuable records in my collection. And since it's not too far behind as of the time that I'm filming this, I hope it's okay. I hope you won't get too mad. I will still be doing the video about my biggest Taylor Swift ISOs. That will just be coming next week instead of this week. And before I get into sharing the vinyl in my collection that are the most valuable, I am going to ask you all once again, as always, to please subscribe to my channel if you are not already. Subscribing and liking and commenting on my videos are completely free ways that you can support me and my content. And every time you do one of those, it just pushes my videos out to more people who might enjoy watching them like you do. My current goal is still 2,000 subscribers by the beginning of June, so by the beginning of the summer, and I definitely think that's doable. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the little bell icon if you want to be notified every time I upload a brand new video. And with no more introduction, let's get on to the most valuable records in my collection. Now, I know that there is a lot of ways that people kind of figure out the value of the records in their collection. For me, I use Discogs, and I know a lot of other people do too, but when you're looking at a record on Discogs, there's a few different numbers that you can look at to help determine which way you would like to value your collection. I'll put a screenshot up here so you can kind of see as I'm describing how I figure it out. But on the sales history, there is the left side, which is the smallest amount that the record has sold for. And then on the right side, there is the highest amount that the record has sold for. And then right in the middle, that's kind of like the average or the median price, or kind of where most of them are going to tend to fall. And to me, that means that is the current value of what the record is. You could go down as low as that lowest number. You could go up as high as that highest number, but you're probably not going to always get that highest number. And then right beneath all of that, there is the last sold, and it has like a date and a price. And usually that last sold is closer to that middle number. So that's also why I go based off of the middle number, because sometimes you might be able to get a little higher or lower depending on what the market value is. So that's how I price the value of my records. I know people might do it differently. Some people might take the highest selling price. And if you do that, cool. I just don't, because that might not be the current going value of a record. Now knowing how I value my records and how I figure out their value, let's get into the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is the Home Alone soundtrack pressed by Mondo. This is one of my favorite vinyl that I have, and for many reasons. It has a transparent green disc, and it also has a transparent red disc. And if you saw my video about every record that I added to my collection in 2024, you saw me open this up and how cool the gatefold is. The sleeves, so it's the yellow that's in these windows, that is the sleeve, and it pulls out and you can flip it around and you can put it back in, and then it looks like it's nighttime and like there's nobody home. And you can do that with both sleeves. So there's 2 discs, 2 sleeves, and they've both got different scenes. And so you can kind of see like what's playing in the window and like what the family members are doing, you know, when he's home, and makes it look like there's people there, but there's really not. It's just such a really cool record. I love the packaging and everything for this. This one currently is valued right in the middle at $94.97. The 9th most valuable record in my collection is kind of surprising because I literally just added it to my collection like 2 months ago, maybe a month ago at this point. Not sure when. It is one of my most recent videos as well. It is Sabrina Carpenter's Fruitcake EP. It is on the limited edition green. The green is a web store exclusive, so you had to get this one from her web store. If you're gonna find one of these in a record store or something, it's probably going to be the red one, unless they ordered some green ones, obviously. This green Fruitcake EP vinyl is currently valued at $99.59. So just a slight jump ahead of the Home Alone soundtrack. But also, I'm now realizing that that's 2 Christmas albums. that have made the top 10, which is also kind of surprising to me because I guess I wouldn't think of Christmas albums as being some of the most valuable, but they cracked the top 10. Now, number 8 is actually the one and only 7-inch that is going to be in this video. It is Taylor Swift Me. This is the cover with Brendan Urie. This is also the only Me 7-inch that I have in my collection. And I think this one also surprised me because I knew it was worth a little bit of money, but I didn't realize that it would be enough to crack the top 10. It is currently valued at $107, so about $8 more than the fruitcake one. And I think that just surprised me because I paid like $40 for this. Somebody was selling it in a Facebook group and I was able to snag it for a really good price of $40, and I knew it was a good price when I bought it, but I guess I just didn't realize how much it's actually worth now. So that's actually really surprising and fun to see that this cracked the top 10. Now, the number 7 most valuable record in my collection is Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay. If you watched, again, my video of every record we added to our collection in 2024, this was a Connor pickup. It's one of his favorite albums of the year, and he was really excited to get this and add it to the collection. It is on this really pretty and really fun, like blue and white swirl pattern. It looks like the ocean, which is kind of the name of it. It's just a blue and white marbled Oceania disc, I think is what it was called. This one is now going for $120 on Discogs, though it does say the last one sold was January 10th, and that was for $65. So a lot less than what that average price is. And again, that's kind of why I go by that middle price, because the highest this one has sold for is $200, but it last sold for $65. So that's like a major jump. So you could maybe get $120 for it if somebody really wants it, but that middle number is probably just the sweet spot. And I realized that I should probably also be sharing like when they last sold and for how much for the previous ones. I'll do it moving forward, but I'll make sure to put them on the screen so you can see that, even though I didn't mention it for the last 3. Moving on to number 6, this one surprised me as well. I feel like I'm going to end up saying that about all of them, although the ones that are coming up don't really surprise me, but this one truly, genuinely did. It is Renee Rapp's Snow Angel, specifically the Spotify exclusive orange disc. And I don't know why this one surprised me. I guess because I have a few of them and none of them placed as high as this one did, but I guess maybe because it's the Spotify exclusive and there was a limited amount of them, and that's why it ranks so high in terms of value. I'll say it is currently valued at $125, but the last one sold was on December 23rd of 2024, so last December, and it sold for $250, and that is on the high end of what this has sold for, so that is the most. So the 125 is right in the middle. It's about halfway between the lowest of 50 and the highest of 250. So I definitely don't know if I could get 250 for this, but I definitely think in that middle 125, which is where I'm valuing it at, is definitely doable. And number 5, cracking the top 5, we have Frank Ocean Blonde. Again, I mentioned this in my every record we added to our collection in 2024. This one was in there. This one was popping up on his website kind of randomly, and I wasn't following it, but Connor was. He did get this one, but he was saying that he was seeing on like Reddit and stuff that a lot of people were ordering them and then immediately they were getting canceled and refunded, and he wasn't sure why, but when he went to check, they were available. So he ordered one and it showed up. So that's super exciting. So this is a legit pressing. This is not a knockoff or a fake. This is a real one that came directly from his web store. It is on a black disc. It is currently valued at $133.68. It last sold on January 27th of 2025 for $200. So genuinely like a couple days ago, this one sold for the highest amount of $200 on Discogs. Now, the 4th most valuable vinyl in my collection is actually not a single vinyl. It is a box set. It is the Katy Perry Katy Catalog box set. This is valued at $150 and most recently sold for on January 19th of 2025 for $189.99. So just under $200. This one I am not surprised to see in here. I think after taxes and shipping, I paid like $100, and I kind of knew it was going to go up in price. They are all numbered, so they were limited to 10,000. I got number 3,289 of 10,000, and it's just super fun because it was like a special anniversary box set of her first 3 albums. So one of the boys turned 15, Teenage Dream turned 13, and Prism turned 10. I'm pretty positive that was all the birthdays for these albums, and so they just made one giant box set, and it's so cool, and I love all the discs. I don't know that I've actually shown this in a video before, so I'm going to open this up so you can kind of see what they all look like. So this is the One of the Boys. You've got the front and the back. I'm pretty sure this is all the same as just what like the normal edition of the album would be. So you've got that, and then there's so much like fun extra stuff in here. There is a 7-inch, so this is Katy Perry Cup of Coffee and Katy Perry's I Think I'm Ready. It's on a fun like purple disc. It also came with a calendar for One of the Boys. It's a 2024 calendar, so it's outdated now, but it's got just like a bunch of the photos from the photo shoot that she did for the album, and it's really fun. I never hung it up. It just sat in here the whole time, and honestly I forget that it did come with a 7-inch. I should put it like with my other 7-inch records, but like it's part of the box set, so maybe I'll just leave it in here. What would you do? Would you put it in your 7 inches, or would you leave it in the box set? Let me know. The disc for this One of the Boys is this very cool, it looks like clouds, so it's this light blue and white swirly marble color, and I'm obsessed with it. And here's the Teenage Dream. It's just the normal version of the gatefold as well, the front and the back and the inside of the gatefold. Teenage Dream is one of my favorite Katy Perry albums. It's not my favorite. I'll share which one that is in just a minute, but these discs are just as cool. And I think you can actually get all these separately. You didn't have to get the box set, but I did because it came with all the extra fun stuff. It looks like a peppermint because it's Teenage Dream and it's all like candy themed and stuff. It is so fun, and I am absolutely obsessed with genuinely all of the records in this box set. I think they did an incredible job. And here's the second one. It looks the same as the first. Oh, that side is actually a lot more red. The white didn't quite seep through, so it's not the exact same as the first. Obviously they're two different discs, so they're gonna look slightly different, but I kind of like the variation. That one's not as white as the other one, but they're still fun. This one also came with this big Teenage Dream poster. I don't even know if I can get it all in. So there's the first side and there's the second side. I don't hang these up. I usually don't hang posters up that come in albums. I just leave them in here just because that's not my aesthetic to hang them all up. Maybe one day I will. I also like to get frames with them instead of just like taping or tacking them to the wall, you know? So maybe one day if I could find a frame for it, I would hang it up. And now the last one that was in the box set, and is my personal favorite Katy Perry album ever, it's Prism. This is the one that really got me into Katy Perry. I liked her earlier albums, One of the Boys and Teenage Dream, but it was Prism that really got me hooked, and I still love this one. I listen to it all the time. So you got the front and the back, and then the inside of the gatefold. And I just think the photography and the visuals for this album are stunning. They are literally everything. Like, come on, this is perfect. And not only is it like such pretty photography and everything about this album, but the disc they did for this, like, come on, that is so fun. As most of you probably know, I'm a big fan of splatter discs, especially if it's on a clear disc with colorful splatter. This hits the mark. This does not miss for me. I am absolutely obsessed with this. I just can't explain enough how much I love this pressing. I think it's so fun, and it fits the album perfectly, like literally perfectly. I don't think they missed on a single one of the pressings for this box set, but this one is by far my favorite. And I'll also show you the second disc. This one has even more color splatter in it than the first disc. I just cannot get over it. And the extra stuff that came with this album, there is a little booklet. I say little, it's quite big actually. It's a full-size like vinyl booklet of photos from the photo shoot. And it's a fun little touch because there's, again, so many good photos from this shoot that I don't know ever saw the light of day. So I am very glad that she included this in the Prism set. And there's also just this single photo on a cardstock. Well, there is the Katy Perry catalog box set. Definitely understand why this one is in the top 10 most valuable in my collection. In fact, it's in the top 5. It is number 4. It makes completely sense. Like, I don't question why this one is in here, and I am obsessed with it. Now we're getting into the top 3, and it's probably not going to be any surprise to the people who have watched a lot of my videos. They're all Taylor Swift. I'm gonna throw that out here right now, the top 3 are all Taylor Swift vinyl, which kind of surprised me for one of them, but not the other 2. Makes complete sense. And the first one that is in the top 3 is the manuscript version of the Tortured Poets Department. This is the one that is on a white vinyl and came with a signed insert, so you can see that here. I got a little heart with my signature, which I'm obsessed with. This is the one that kind of surprised me because it is newer, but it does have the signed insert, so it actually doesn't surprise me that much. The current value of this one is $172.50, and it last sold on January 25th, 2025 for $174.99. So the last selling price and what it's valued at is very, very close. Again, this is the manuscript, the white disc version. And number 2 is the Folklore Long Pond Studio Sessions. This was a Record Store Day exclusive. I've talked about this many times on my channel when Connor and I and one of our friends went to the record store for Record Store Day. This was the last copy that my record store had. We got in line before 6 a.m. and they had several copies, but everyone of course was there for this. So this was the last one, and he literally had to go to the back of the store and dig it out of somewhere. I don't know, but he found it, and my friend had actually asked about it, and so he let me take it home and have it in my collection, which I will always be so grateful for, because this one currently is valued at $272.50, and it last sold on January 25th of 2025 for $250. So right about at the valued price, a little bit more, but like, I could not afford that. Like, I will forever and ever be so grateful that I was able to get this. It is on the gray vinyl disc, which I think is so pretty and definitely fits the vibe of the album perfectly. Now, number 1, the most valuable record in my collection is a jump and a leap and a soar and a fly above all of the others that I have talked about so far. This one is valued at so much higher. Like, it blows my mind genuinely, because I paid about $40 for this record, and it is now currently valued at $519.50, and it last sold for $599 on January 19th. So $600 is what this one last sold for. I cannot fathom spending that much money, but I know this one is very, very sought after. It is the Taylor Swift Lover Live from Paris, the original variant from 2023 with the pink and white marble tie-dye heart and the blue and white marble tie-dye heart. Not only is this the most valuable record in my collection, it is also one of my absolute favorites. I don't have any others that are die cut into its shape except for the new Lover Live from Paris. So this one just like holds a special place in my heart, and I think the colors of this are so fun. I think they fit the Lover vibe and aesthetic perfectly. I think they nailed it when they dropped this. I think everything about this is perfect. And I mentioned this in my last video. We don't know exactly how many of these were pressed and made, but estimates tend to be about 20,000, which is also why it's so valuable, because there's just not many of them out there. And the ones that are out there, they're gonna have to sell for quite a bit of money for people to get rid of them out of their collection, which I genuinely never will. This will be with me until the day that I die. It will go into my kids, my grandkids, if I ever have them. You know, this is always going to be a part of my collection. Well, that is the top 10 most valuable records in my collection. We start off kind of small. $94 for the Home Alone soundtrack is still not a small chunk of change, but when you compare it to the $515 that the Lover Live from Paris is, it kind of doesn't look that bad. You know what I mean? But it's still like a high number. And I feel like I need to say this because I don't know if I have in any of my previous videos, but I don't buy records to resell. I don't buy them with the intention of reselling. I buy them because I like the music and I like the artist, and I like being able to support them in a way that isn't just streaming, because let's be real, artists don't make crap from streaming, especially if they're smaller artists. Buying something physical like a CD or a vinyl, or going to a show and buying a t-shirt or something, is just a much better way of supporting them and the art that they're putting out. So if I can buy a vinyl and add it to my collection, I love to do that. I think think sometimes, especially with these more valuable ones, like the Lover Life from Paris, like the Folklore Long Pond, it's a shot in the dark on whether it's going to be a lot of money or not, but I truly do not think about it. I go and I stand in line at 5:30 a.m. for record store day because I want the record in my collection, not so I can jack up the price and sell it to somebody else. But I just think it's fun to look and see how much they are actually worth and how much people are willing to pay, because sometimes it blows my mind, like the fact that somebody paid $600 for a record. I cannot fathom spending that much money. Absolutely not. I like to pay retail price, maybe slightly higher if I'm at a local store because they need to make a little bit more money on the products that they're selling, but like hundreds of dollars, catch me never doing that. And if I do, take away my credit card, because that is absolutely insane. But I feel like I should say, if that is you, if you have the availability and the means to spend that much money on a record, you do you. But I don't like to do that. I think that is crazy, but I get it. I get why people do it, especially if they're super rare. Some of the Taylor Swift ones can go for several $100s, obviously, $1,000 if you want the Rep FYE or some of the earlier singles. So I get it, but that is it for this video. Again, make sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment down below letting me know what your favorite vinyl from this top 10 is. Was there one that surprised you was in this top 10 that you're like, I did not think that would be as much money as it was? Or was there one that maybe you were expecting to be in that was not? Because I think that was the case with me. There was a few that I was like, oh, this one will be in there. And then it wasn't even close. So let me know your thoughts on that down below. And I hope you all have an incredible rest of your day and an incredible weekend. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.